Welcome everyone, HogvilleNET YouTube Live. It's my in-game post-game. Arkansas Razorbacks in another situation. 2-0-3 teams in league play, two of the worst teams in the league, not just because of their records, but the eye test tells us that. And you got a situation where Arkansas does not like uh, getting on a run and keeping a run and keeping success in this game in both halves. A 12-0 run in the first half to take a 12-point lead evaporated quickly as LSU outscored Arkansas 18-8 to close out the first half and trailed by only two at the break. Arkansas with a 13-1 run here in the second half to take an 8-point lead. We're down by four. It was their first deficit of the game was in the second half there. So Arkansas took an 8-point lead, 52-44. And then it was just self-inflicted wounds, unforced turnovers, a myriad of defensive breakdowns. Next thing you know, LSU's on a 14-0 run to go up by six, 58-52. Arkansas has since scored on an Adu Thero bucket to get within 58-54. There's a timeout. We're under 10 minutes to go. And it's just another situation where the Arkansas Razorbacks are finding ways not to excel. And you got to give LSU some credit, but this is a team that doesn't even have the talent level that Arkansas has. It doesn't. But a team that's blocked a lot of shots tonight when Arkansas hadn't had problems blocking shots typically with everything else that's going wrong. And then tonight they're getting hammered on the block shot department. Arkansas had an advantage at halftime in turnovers, points off turnovers. Arkansas was plus 7-7-0. That's LSU's been a lot better in the second half, forcing turnovers and scoring off of those. Also getting out in fast break. Arkansas had an edge there at halftime. And just a +1 right now right before I came on. So Arkansas has really not done much in the second half after that 13-1 run to protect or build on a lead. Same as the first half when they had a 12-point lead. So the Razorbacks continually find ways to not only shoot themselves in the foot, but just untimely. I mean, you saw two bad out of bounds plays in that run. One of them was late shot clock. Arkansas inbounds the ball to Jonas Adu with 1 second left on the shot clock. So he's got to turn and fire a three. By the way, it was Adu's second three-point attempt in this game. That's a problem. Your offense should never have the ball in his hands to shoot a three, especially at the end of the clock. You've got to have a design and out-of-bounds play to get someone else a shot. You're probably going to have to take a three, inbounding on the sideline, and you're get down to 1 second, but not Jonas Adu. Then you had some bad guys open on rolling to the basket, just bad soft entry passes. You saw Trevor Brazil come in and immediately get cooked in transition, turns the ball over on an entry pass, score the other way. Then he gets an offensive foul. Arkansas had benefited on a flagrant one foul that gave Arkansas 2 points, 2 free throws that Boogie Flan hit. Fouled, kind of a cheap shot on a high ball screen. And Trevor Brazil, when he got in after his bad pass turnover, then has a turnover after LSU scores on the next offensive possession and gives that back. A flagrant foul, 2 made free throws. LSU was a good free throw shooting team coming in, get shooting around 20 attempts per game. So volume was good, but also around 75%. LSU is 15 of 16 at the foul line on a night where Arkansas is making its free throws, but over 93%. Arkansas is 8 of 9. So the last game, it really hurt Arkansas after shooting a lot more than Florida and missing 11 tonight. Arkansas's missed only 1, but so is LSU, and LSU's taken 7 more. It's an Arkansas team that can't get out of its own way and can't figure out how to put enough good things together in a game. And it plays down to the competition. It doesn't matter what the level of competition is now. This game reminds me of the Miami game, where you're wondering which bad team is going to figure out a way to win. And Arkansas was the bad team that night that figured out a way to win. That was a Miami team that was in a 6-game losing skid. Well, both of these teams, Arkansas and LSU, have open league play 0-on-3. You're seeing role players like Fountain, who can't shoot. I don't even know if he's drawing rim, except Arkansas fouled him, and he got 6 first-half free throws and made all 6. It's just little things. It's the nuances of the game. So one team, I think, in Arkansas has more talent, which tells me yeah, I mean, it's sobering. Arkansas very well may be the worst team in the SEC. We just saw LSU have a 1 of 2 free throw trip. Tigers are up 5, 59-54 with a little over 7 minutes to go. But Arkansas just can't cobble together strong stretches beyond these. They had two good runs, but they're so fleeting because it's not just that the run ends. It's that it's like, here, now you go on your big run and just undo all that. You're not going to continue to run throughout a game and other team's never going to answer. But Arkansas has this really bad habit of not only having their runs in, but just caving in for long stretches. We saw it in the big win over Michigan, Arkansas's only quality win of the season, where Arkansas built up a big lead and then just kind of laid down and said, all right, here, let it go. Now, Arkansas found a way to win that game, but Arkansas has not been good in games it can win in league play so far. Ole Miss, who went on the road and won by 10 points, it's the program's first ever road win against a top 5 rated team. That tells you, how good a job Chris Beard's doing. Ole Miss has started 4-0 in league play. But that was a winnable game at home for Arkansas. Arkansas had a 1 of 2 free throw trip, gets a stop on defense, has a defensive rebound going the other way, and it was Nelly Davis just lost the ball, dribbled it out of bounds off his body. Had the rebound secured and just mishandled the dribble out of bounds underneath on the baseline here. So LSU gets it's stuff like this. This is the bad news Hogs is what you're watching if you're watching it at home. And I'm sure you are. Arkansas bails out LSU with another foul. Free throws coming. So LSU's 16 of 18 at the foul line. 90% going to shoot 2 more. So they'll get to 20 here, and they average 20 attempts per game. Arkansas's taken 11 free throw attempts and made 9. That's good. It's not nearly as good as what LSU's done at the line tonight and double the volume. So, this is the kind of shooting night Arkansas needed the free throw line, shooting 15 more free throws than Florida in the previous game and laid a goose egg at the line. So Arkansas's good in some areas, not good in more areas, and they can never put the right combinations of being good this night here combined with this. They just can't do it. It's even hard to articulate. This is not a poised basketball team. So LSU makes both, 18 of 20 now. Arkansas tries to get a pick and roll going, and Jonas Adu gets tripped. They call a foul. If they didn't call that, it was another turnover. They did call it. This is just not a poised team. And it's not a team, this Arkansas team, where the pieces still fit together. It's just not. Like I said, those runs, it looks good for a little bit, but they can't sustain it, and they can't help but give up a run that's even better than the one they just had. It's clearly a problem. Nelly Davis had 10 quick points, and he had another turnover by Nelly. He's no good trying to dribble and create. He's really a catch and shoot guy. Even his close range shots tonight were off give and go or some kind of, where he didn't have to do much with it. A subtle ball fake to lay the ball in on one play. LSU with a 3. Biggest lead for the Tigers now 9 with just under 6 minutes left. Arkansas crosses midcourt and calls a timeout. All right, so the Razorbacks are on the ropes against a team to me that looks clearly undermanned compared to most SEC teams. Certainly not as talented as Arkansas is, but just tougher, and LSU could have faded and melded in after Arkansas had a couple of runs. Instead, it's a team that just took advantage of Arkansas' self-inflicted wounds and willingness to, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Arkansas is willing to play that way. So you got to still seize on it. So you got to give LSU credit. There's still time left in this game. A 9-point advantage. Arkansas needs another run. Arkansas staring 0-4 in the face. It's a poorly coached team. Just going to say it. It's a poorly coached Arkansas team. It's a team that does not play with poise. I mentioned that. And so you wonder where Arkansas goes from here if this ends up being a loss. We don't want to chalk that up yet because it has been a game of runs. And Arkansas did lead by 2 at halftime after leading by 12 with about 7 minutes to go in the first half. And again, just kind of laid down and let LSU work its way back into it. This is just not LSU shot so poorly early, but it's a team that's come up now. Arkansas's kind of stuck on, I think, 6 made threes. I don't know where they were the last I checked. Arkansas was 6 of 16, 37.5%. They've probably missed some since then. But LSU was 6 of 18, and I believe they've made 8 now. So LSU's made more threes, more free throws. Both teams not shooting all that great overall from the field. The last I checked, both were right around 38%. But again, the margins are small. In a game where the margins are going to be tight, you got to be better in several of those tight margins to offset where you're a little worse. In Arkansas, when you look adding up points, you can't be doubled up at the free throw line. And when both teams are shooting poorly from three, the other team just makes a few more than you. You can't get out in your own way with the turnovers. Arkansas needed to be great in transition. Arkansas scored more fast break points tonight than they have in any game this year in league play. But LSU is a team with a high propensity to turnover. So what did Arkansas do? Arkansas started having unforced turnovers in the second half that fed that initial 14-0 run and let LSU get back in the fast breaking points off turnovers game so that those margins are tighter. LSU's staying close there where LSU's not typically a good team. They're thriving at the free throw line a little better from three than Arkansas. So it's, Arkansas is close to being night 0-4 in SEC play. But they're also got a chance to still win this game. Big Z and Trevor Brazile. Brazile hit a 3 off the bench early. Arkansas took an 11-4 lead. We've seen Arkansas jump out against Ole Miss, against Florida, and then tonight against LSU early. 2 quick 9-point leads against Ole Miss and Florida, 7-point lead early. LSU came back and tied it up at 16-all, and Arkansas took that 12-0 run to go up by 12. Then had the 13-1 run to go up by 8 here in the second half and just fell apart. It wasn't, you had to help LSU have, this is not a good LSU team in my opinion. So you really had to fuel that fire on that 14-0 run if you're Arkansas. You just really kind of had to have some self-inflicted stuff that we've seen all year from this team. Nelly Davis hits an off-balance, falling away 3 that doesn't count because foul on the floor. Probably a good call there. Like I said, Arkansas zigs when it needs to zag, and it zags when it needs to zig. I mean, that's a good call. It's a foul on the floor. Yeah, so the Razorbacks, he gathered and took a step before the gather. Flan hits a mid-range shot. LSU's back on offense, so tell you what happened on the previous possession. That was huge for Arkansas. Get it down to 7. We'll see how big it is, but he's really Arkansas's best go-to guy. Looked like Jonas Adu was going to have a big night. He's just been quiet since the first half. Same with Nelly Davis. Quiet in the sense of production, not there, but making mistakes. So that's that's been there. Good to see Jonas get up a couple of threes in this game, though. Arkansas is just getting destroyed on getting stops initially on defense and then just giving up offensive rebounds. Same old story, same old problems for Arkansas. Can't get out of their own way. Can't help themselves. I mean, there's Fountain missing again at point blank range. Why you ever foul that guy and let him shoot 6 free throws in the first half and carry LSU's water? No idea. It's a guy that can't score otherwise. And you got Damian Collins, who played. He was a 5-star. I covered him in high school. He took an unofficial visit, and I interviewed him when he took an unofficial visit for a red-white game in Fayetteville with the previous coaching staff, a 5-star that really hasn't panned out. Left Kentucky. He's at LSU. He's had a big second half blocking shots, got a dunk in transition, just got an offensive rebound foul, and he's at the line, made his first free throw. LSU's got a chance here to go back up by 9. Made both free throws. I mean, just lights out shooting by everybody for LSU tonight. Dude that's not really a skilled player at all, but he's clowning Arkansas in this second half. Arkansas actually is +1 in offensive rebounds. They've had both second halves have been good for Arkansas, but everything else starts to fall apart. All right, back to Fland. I said he's the go-to guy. Maybe this will be like Miami. He's getting hot now. He just hit a 3. Arkansas finally gets a 3 to go down in this half. Or at this juncture of the half, Arkansas hit a couple early in the half after making 4 in the first half. And the LSU gets another offensive rebound, but Arkansas gets a stop. A little crossover by Boogie. 14-foot pull-up J. This is who you go to. It's down to a 4-point deficit, 66-62, with 4 minutes left. Boogie Flan with 3 straight buckets, including a 3. This is feeling like Miami. You just got to stay with him. He's the only guy that can create shots at all 3 levels for Arkansas. Everything else, unless it's a layup for somebody off his creativity. There's Collins, a defensive breakdown by the Razorbacks. Collins gets a pass and a dunk. Nobody around him initially, just a defensive breakdown. LSU back up 68-62. High ball screen by Adu and Flan playing 2-man game. Flan working on it. Steps back from 3. Boy, is he hot. Another one. 10 straight points for him on Arkansas possessions. Back to back to back to back possessions. Boogie Flan's got 10 points. And the deficit's down to 3, 68-65. Did I say this is starting to feel like the Miami game? Arkansas gives up a layup on the other end. Another poor defensive play. Carter Knox allowed a guard, the Sears guard, about 5'11", who has an advantage with his ball handling, just gave him leverage and could never close on him. He gets a layup. So LSU back up 5. Arkansas can't get stops now. Boogie Flan's getting hot, but Arkansas is not getting stops. So, you just hope Flan can either continue to hit or LSU makes an adjustment and sends 2 guys at him. And then Arkansas has a numbers advantage. He can maybe get off the ball and create for somebody else. But right now it's Boogie Flan versus Arkansas's bad defense at this point in these last few possessions. Boogie Flan, Arkansas's bad defense, helping LSU score. So you're playing with a deficit now, and you're running out of time. But Arkansas's got an opportunity here. It's a timeout. Arkansas's down 5 in this timeout. So got it to a 1-possession game on that last 3 by Boogie, and then give up that layup. Was effectively uncontested. Once the guard got leverage, Carter Knox was on his back. They call it a hostage dribble. Nobody rotated to help, and Carter was not able to, I guess, contest the shot. Maybe he didn't want to foul him. South Carolina gets the win Saturday. Facts. Arkansas. Yeah, I'm not sure. Arkansas didn't play South Carolina until March. Arkansas plays at Missouri. The last I checked, Missouri was on the road at Florida and destroying and had a double-digit lead the last I checked, and had one for a while on the road at Florida. That's where Arkansas plays next, is at at Missouri. Coming off the loss to Florida, LSU looked like Arkansas's best chance to get a win. And I look at it. I mean, LSU's just not a team that's got a lot of studs on it. And I felt like Arkansas has been comparable to everybody talent-wise, just not a good team. And LSU, I don't think is a good team, but I think they're better than Arkansas. And look, it's all relative, right? The SEC is a strong conference. LSU's probably, for a bottom feeder in what it looks like the Tigers will probably be this year in the SEC, might be a middling type team. So it's a 7-point deficit for Florida. I just saw a score update with about 7 minutes left. We'll see if Florida can make the full comeback. But it's not a good LSU team relative to the rest of the league, and but it's better than Arkansas right now. 70-65, 3 minutes, 12 seconds left. Arkansas coming out of the break will be on offense. LSU's committed only 5 fouls, so Arkansas is nowhere near the bonus right now. Arkansas's committed 9 fouls. The next one will give LSU the double bonus. So not only are you getting at where you're at right now, you've been doubled up on free throw attempts, and both teams have only missed 2, so advantage LSU. But you're about to put a really good, a 90% free throw shooting team tonight on the foul line, no matter what the circumstance is, for at least for 2 shots every time. And so unless it's an and one, and that's worse because now they got a chance to score 3 points on the possession. That's where Arkansas is right now. Again, it's a problem. It's good to see Boogie Flan, whose 3-point shooting, I mean, he was 1 for 1 in the first half, I believe, or started that way, but couldn't hit from 2. It's been mostly a 2-point shooting problem from him. The previous game, he was 2 of 3 against Florida from 3, but only 2 of 10 from 2. So he's hit a couple of 2s and 3s in this 10 consecutive points. And Arkansas needs him or somebody to continue to find ways to score because you're down 5 with 3 minutes left. So the Razorbacks are clawing right now, trying to figure out a way to win. Oh, nice drive by Boogie, but no finish. He missed the little up and under scoop on the drive. Ball fake. They were trying to close on him because he's knocking down his jump shot, and he goes all the way in, had a nice looking drive and couldn't finish. So LSU's got the ball little over 2:30 left, up 5. 14-foot shot Arkansas gives up, hits the rim off the backboard, goes in. Arkansas back down 7. So, again, it's the margins, especially late in the game, a 1 or 2 possession game. What are you doing? Arkansas misses a layup, and LSU hits a 14-footer that clanged off the rim, hit the backboard, and fell back through. Adu Thero gets in close range, can't finish a little soft touch shot around the rim, rolls off. Jonas Adu with a tip-in opportunity, misses the tip-in. Fortunately, it's a dead ball offensive rebound for Arkansas. LSU went off LSU out of bounds. Arkansas gets another opportunity here. Just 2 bad teams tonight. One of them had to win, and right now it's advantage LSU up 7 with 2 minutes left, 2:11. Arkansas's inbounding on its baseline. Turnover on 2-man game. You have to make a perfect pass to Jonas Adu. You have to. If you bounce it, throw it in the air, it's almost got to be where he doesn't have to adjust. That was a tough bounce pass in a tight box, a tight pocket pass, and it was just a low pass. There's no way Jonas Adu's bending over to get that pass. And you got to know that. That's why I say this team doesn't play well together. You got to know who your teammates are, what they can and can't do, and you got to play a way that makes sense playing with those guys. Fountain drives in, gets nothing, gets blocked. He wasn't going to make it anyway. All he can do is make free throws if you foul him. Arkansas gave him 6 in the first half. Nelly with the drive. Adu with a putback flush. All right, so Arkansas on the offensive glass again. That time it benefits. 1:25 left. Arkansas trails by 5. And I think the Razorbacks took a timeout. It's a good block by Adu. He's in double digits now. He may be in double digits rebounds probably at this point. Last I checked, he had 8. So he's probably got a double-double, at least 10 points now, at least 10 rebounds probably. And I think he's up to at least 4 blocks. I think he had 3 in the first half, and he just had a block on Fountain. He was the one that blocked that shot. So Arkansas's down 5, 1:25 to go. You just need a strong finish here. I mean, you have to get stops. You can't put them on the free throw line, and you got to score. So Flan gave Arkansas a shot in the arm. Arkansas defensively really didn't help themselves after some of those buckets, but you did get a stop on the last one. Then you got a putback dunk by Adu to get it down to 5. So now you just got to finish better than the other team and find a way. Arkansas's got a chance here. 2-possession game. So we'll see what happens. 72-67. Thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. I will have a little recruiting update at the end of this game. Let's go ahead and get through it. It's close enough to get through it. Arkansas showing full court pressure on the inbounds. Got Billy Richmond in the game. Adu Thero obviously is playing. Some of your better deflection guys and guys that can jump into passing lanes or get steals maybe. So Arkansas fouls. That's just not a good possession. You don't foul. There's 24 seconds on the shot clock, 35 feet away. This team's missed 2 free throws all night, and you fouled them. You're down. It's a 2-possession game. You don't foul with this much time on the clock. You don't put them. It's a double bonus. This is just, again, a poorly coached, poorly prepared team the way I see it. I'm not going to pull punches. You just had a timeout. You go through these things. We're not stopping the clock. They're not missing free throws tonight. You don't do that. You just don't do it. It's a good free throw shooting team coming in, and it's an elite free throw shooting team tonight. So 1:19 left. The deficit, if this free throw goes through here on the second one, it'll be a 3-possession game with 1:19 left. You needed a defensive stop. Yeah, you go for a steal, but you don't foul a guy 34 feet away from the basket with 24 seconds left on the shot clock. You only foul if LSU gets to the rim and they're going to get a dunk or a layup otherwise, and you make them earn it. But that was just bad basketball. Boogie Flan with an air ball on a 3. Nelly Davis does save the offensive rebound inbounds. Arkansas got it, deflected out of bounds. 1:01 left. Arkansas inbound 74-67. This is just, I mean, again, you look at it out of timeout decisions and strategy, whether it was Adu taking threes or Arkansas. I mean, just, that foul. I mean, it's just insane to me how that's just incompetence. It's just not good. All right, Adu gets a paint bucket. Arkansas down 5 again, 74-69, 54 seconds left. Now you're in a situation because of a 30-second shot clock and back, and you're still down 2 possessions where you might have to foul. You may not want LSU to run a ton of clock, and you're SOL tonight because this team's not missing free throws. It's just not. By the way, I didn't say this, and I should have in the lead. If Arkansas loses tonight and starts 0-4, I did the research before the game. You have to go back to Pelfrey's 2000. You have to go back to 2012-13. That Arkansas, I think, went. I know Pelfrey's team that only won 2 conference games back in 08-09 lost its first 4 SEC games, and then they just showed a graphic about 2012-13, which is under Mike Anderson. Maybe that team started 0-4 as well. But it's been a while for either way. It's been over a decade that Arkansas started that poorly in league play. And this is just, again, it's a team that's got more talent than the team on the court that it's playing tonight. 2 bad teams in the conference relative to the conference, and Arkansas's on the road. I said on Drive Time Sports earlier in my segment, I didn't see an advantage for Arkansas in this game, but I didn't predict that Arkansas would lose. I just said this was going to go down to the wire, and Arkansas really didn't hold any advantages in this because LSU is a good defensive team in terms of holding teams. They're field goal shooting, both 2-pointers and 3-pointers, and they shoot more free throws, and they're a better free throw shooting team than most of the teams they've faced, than most of the teams that they've played, including Arkansas. And free throw line will be as big as anything because of how many LSU shot on a night when Arkansas was efficient, just couldn't shoot nearly as many as LSU. So Arkansas's fouled with you can't argue with it now. I mean, you're down 5 points and it's a possession game with a 30-second shot clock. You're trying to extend the game. It's just, you'd still be down 5 if you didn't foul and LSU chewed up all of that shot clock. You'd be down to a game with no more shot clock and down 2 possessions. So it's hard to argue with it there. It was the previous defense possession where Arkansas was insane for fouling. Where they did, when they did, and why they did. No good. All right, LSU hits the first one. It's still a 2-possession game, 6-point lead. Knocks this down. It's going to be a 3-possession game again, and the mountain's even tougher to climb. Again, not a poised team, not a savvy team, not a team that understands situation, doesn't embrace the success it has. And it says, well, how can you say that? Well, you just watch. You watch you create a good avalanche, and then you kind of help feed the bad avalanche. Big 3-point shot by Brazil cuts it to a 4-point game. So now you absolutely need to foul if you don't get a steal right away. That should be a turnover, and it is. Arkansas, a good job on the trap, on the inbounds in the backcourt. On the pass back, LSU's guard lost his footing. Boogie Flan was right there. I was worried they might call a foul, but the guy tripped himself, and so they didn't. Turnover, Arkansas has possession, 31.8 seconds to go. If Arkansas finds a way to win this, everybody's a genius, and then the coaching is great, right? We change our tune. 30 minutes in here, Arkansas's got a chance. Big 3 by Brazil. If he's done anything well tonight, it's hit 2 threes in this game. Okay, Thero, this is going to be a big deal for Arkansas. Thero just got fouled on a close-range shot. The clock stops. So that's good, 28.1 seconds left, but now it's a mystery. As good as Arkansas's been at the free throw line, and he's made his, what is he going to do here? What is he going to do here? I mean, as physical as this game's been, a little surprised they called that, but it's good for Arkansas. Adu on the first free throw, now that he's getting ready to shoot the second one, hits the rim. It looked like it was going to go off to the side, and it rolled over, though. So I had not a great vantage point the way I'm looking at it. Went in. Both free throws. That's clutch. Big for him. He was 9 of 12 in the game against Florida, and he started 2 for 2 in this game. He just went 2 for 2 here. So Arkansas is now within a 2-point, is obviously a 1-possession game now. 76-74, 28.1 seconds. You obviously want to try to get a steal, and at some point, if you don't get a turnover, you're going to have to foul and stop the clock and extend this game. All right. So LSU gets across midcourt, and Arkansas fouls pretty much immediately at that point. It's the right thing to do. There were 28 seconds left. They chewed up 7 seconds. So 1/4 of what remaining game clock there was. It's a good foul. You got to stop the clock. So now you hope he goes 1 of 2, and you're down to you maintain a 1 possession deficit because you're down 2. Jordan Sears is 84% free throw shooter tonight. He's made both. So we'll see if he's got the. All right. So first free throw's good. Arkansas is down 3. So even if he makes this, you just need a quick score. It doesn't have to be a 3, but you're going to have to try to get a steal again, a turnover somehow, or foul, and continue to extend the game. Arkansas is out of timeouts, by the way. 78-74 LSU, 21.1 seconds. Arkansas is inbound the ball. DJ Wagner's pushing. DJ Wagner with a missed layup. Trevor Brazil with a missed tip in. LSU gets the rebound, defensive rebound. Traveling called, but way too much clock on that. I mean, Arkansas basically, everybody touched the ball on a weave. Flan misses a layup, and Brazil with the missed tip in. But Arkansas is going to have possession with 5.8 seconds left, down 4. So you need a and 1 on a 3-point shot. Adu Thero gets blocked at the rim by Damian Collins. That's fitting. Arkansas loses its 4th straight game to open SEC play. It's one of the worst starts ever for Arkansas Razorbacks in the SEC or in any conference for that matter, ever. 0-4 start. LSU, honestly, not a very good team. Improves to 12-5, 1-3 in conference. Arkansas 11-6, 0-4. In Lenardi's ESPN bracketology release today, update, Arkansas was now off the bubble, still on the bubble, but off the NCAA tournament 60-18 field projection. They were the first team out. This will be a big tumble unless Arkansas wins at Missouri on Saturday. I don't see that happening. I think Arkansas, this was as close to a must-win as you could have for a team. And the only thing that makes the bad taste of this go away is to win at Missouri. But if you start 0-5, coming back for a Georgia team that's now ranked, an Oklahoma team, and Arkansas right now is the worst team in the SEC. It looks like it to me. This is a bad way to start things. All right, I'm going to move away from this. I've already gone through all the talking points. I've been negative enough. Arkansas made a few plays late to give itself a chance, but good teams get over the finish line. And one bad team had to lose tonight. I'm not impressed with LSU at all. And that means I think even worse of Arkansas right now. Arkansas will host LSU in the round robin later in the season. We'll get them back at home for what it's worth. All right, so Arkansas, not a good basketball team, period. They're not good. All right, recruiting news. Muhammad Silla, class of 2025, 6'11", 6'10", 240, a center from Dakar, Senegal, plays at Bella Vista Prep in Arizona. He is ranked the number 13 player overall by On3 Sports. 247 Sports has him ranked as the 29th best player in the country. He had whittled he visited Arkansas on December 1st. He'd whittled his top 5, which included the Razorbacks, down to 3, Arkansas, Georgia Tech, and Oregon. And he is set to make his decision. I thought he was going to make it over the weekend. I was told at the end of the year that this was locked up, done. He'd made it. The decision was made before the New Year. And then you had the holiday midweek. New Year's was midweek that following week, and that a decision would be announced the following week. Well, the following week was last week, and I thought, well, maybe over the weekend, Arkansas's playing Florida. We didn't hear anything, so I thought it was going to hit on the weekend. He's going to make his announcement on Thursday. So day after tomorrow is when we're going to hear from Muhammad Silla. I was told this is done, and I was told that Calipari and Arkansas at that time were going to get him. So something would had to have changed, and I doubt it has, for that to be a different outcome. So I expect it to be Arkansas. Again, the announcement will be Thursday afternoon, 2 days from now. And so Arkansas already has a top 5 rated recruiting class, 2 5-stars, and a top 74-star, all backcourt players. So this would also be Calipari's first high school front line piece that he would be adding. And it would also be his biggest high school recruiting class at Arkansas. He had a 3-player class he brought with him from Kentucky, which was originally a 6-player class. He brought half of it with him to Arkansas. So for what it's worth, it looks to me like Arkansas is going to add a 4th player and again a frontline piece. Silla's a nice player. He's a more traditional center type in terms of you're not going to see him really stretch the floor. It's not that he can't knock down a mid-range shot, but most of his work is done as a rim runner, a lob threat, a slasher, offsetting picks and then getting a pass and finishing around the basket. A rim protector, rebounder type. So, mostly a paint impact kind of a player. And we'll see. I mean, weird things happen in recruiting. The way it was told to me, he's a hog. So we'll see. And that's what I'm expecting on Thursday. All right. 36 minutes in. I'm not going to belabor the point. The Arkansas Razorbacks stink. They're not a poised group. They're not a well-coached team right now. I mean, it starts from the top, folks. It starts from the top. And you look at situational basketball, and Arkansas's just lost. And that starts at the top. You got to have your guy. I mean, again, out of bounds plays after timeout plays. You like this fight. Arkansas plays hard. It's not, but and when they go on these runs, things click for a little bit, but they can't sustain it. And then when you look at the droughts and some of those issues where they feed into the other team's runs, it's a lot of, I say, self-inflicted wounds and forced turnovers. Poor choices, getting lost on and not communicating on defense, assignment bust. Arkansas needs to zag when it zigs, and it needs to zig when it zags. Sometimes it just can't, get out of its own way. This league is too good to play like that. You're just not going to win games. The league a few years ago, you could survive a game like this, maybe with better players. Arkansas's just, again, this is historically bad, this losing streak to start league play. And, again, they showed a stat, Arkansas, it looked like to me on here on SEC Network that the last time that happened was 2012 and 13. I know for certain it happened in 08, 09 in Pelfrey's second season. The worst ever run through a league for an Arkansas team in the modern era of basketball, going way, way back into the previous century. That team went 2-14 when there was a 16-game slate. So this Arkansas team, easily the worst team right now from what I've seen. Someone asked a question there. I didn't understand. I didn't read it fast enough. I don't do very well with the comments. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off short of 40 minutes tonight. Thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. I guess it's, we're getting used to this now. It's becoming a habit. That's a problem. That is a problem when losing becomes a habit, and it looks habitual. I mean, the body language, the gifts. When you're helping author, you're unraveling. It's not as much about the other team just being better than you. It's about you making sure that they're better than you. That becomes habitual. And Arkansas is in one of those cycles right now. We know the program has started poorly. Last year's team lost its first 3 league games. One defeated Texas A&M on a buzzer shot by Tremont Mark driving to the basket. But even that team didn't start 0-4. It did start 1-6. The previous year, 1-5. The previous team that went to an Elite Eight, the 1-5 team went to the Sweet 16. The previous year went 0-3 to start league play and went to an Elite Eight. The team before that, the first Elite Eight team that won 12 or however many games in a row, starting in mid-January, started league play 2-6. 2-4 in its first 6 games. So there's nothing, even in successful seasons, Arkansas starts slow. This feels different because not one single game has the other team had more talent. And it's not like Arkansas is a bunch of freshmen and first-year players. It looked like Nelly Davis was going to help Arkansas. He helped them early, and then it was night-night. Jonas Adu, just not tough enough and consistent enough for my taste for an all-SEC kind of guy. He had a double-double tonight. He blocked 4 shots. He had a double-figure scoring game the previous game and 9 rebounds. So he's had an average probably right around a double-double. So he's shown a little improvement over the first 2 league games, but there's just still qualities about everybody that are not quite right. All right, I am actually going to sign off now. We just went over 40 minutes. Thank you again for joining me. If you haven't done it already, please hit subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, see you then.